So, without further ado, I think that's the story before we get into it, and if we do it right, if by we, I mean me, this should be easier than a regular engine oil change. Taking your bets right now, over under. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Wray's Garage, where today we're going to be changing out the transaxle fluid, the transmission fluid, whatever your preferred vernacular for that is, on a 9872 series Boxster. This would apply to a Boxster, Cayman, S, non-S, Spider as in my case, and possibly even the first generation suit too, to some degree. There may just be a bit of variance in the amount of fluid required. I went with the factory spec Mobil Delvac one, which is a 75 W90 synthetic gear oil. I have 1 US gallon. My understanding is it'll take about 3 quarts, so I'm thinking having 4 quarts should see us just right there. Why am I doing this? Well, it's not been done in my ownership, and that's 2 years, and I don't know when it was done before that. There is something of a clicking, maybe some resistance in the gearbox I'm feeling, or it could just be because I've got another manual car now and it feels different. So either way, I think this needs to be done. If that clickiness goes away, I'll be sure to let you know. To do the job, you're gonna need towels, gloves, glasses, 10mm hex, 10mm socket. Oh, that's a 10mm socket. 15mm socket, because we have to take off the cross brace, the rear support braces. I'm gonna use a little impact wrench for that. I did use this guy, a 90 degree, to take this off the bottom. We need to take off that rearmost belly pan that sits there at the back. I had to do that before I raise the car, which I'm about to do, because if I raise the car, QuickJack gets in the way, so that's no good. T20s will be the screws on there, and then there are 10mm bolts, or sorry, nuts that this 10mm takes off. So yeah, I'll let you know what I forgot to tell you I needed on the way. You'll need obviously something to catch the trans fluid in, and this is a pump. And I used this on a Macan to do a PDK about a week or 2 ago. I was expecting to have to pump the dickens out of this thing, and oh my goodness, it really draws fluid well. Nice $10 device I picked up at one of the local auto retailers by me, which is probably some by you too. All right, so here I am at the back of the car. You can see here where the angular braces go down the left and right, and then the metal plate that sits in the middle that has the sway bar kind of poking out at the bottom. One complication that I'd like you to try and avoid, and I thought I had, is you can hopefully see all the way over here how the very last bolt here, or nut I should say, on this diagonal bar, and on both sides it's the same over here as well, is actually right there on the jack point. So I'm going to drop the lift and see if I can get it far forward enough so I can get my impact on there. So once we've done that, got that all opened up, we'll get in here and we'll get to the transmission and show you around there, so we can show where the fill plug, drain plug, hopefully get the job done. Now, you might notice this little hole here. If that were bigger, I think somewhere right in here is where the drain plug lives. If you were smart enough to cut a big hole there, you could probably avoid this old debauchery of taking off all of this stuff. But that is a problem for another day, because that is not a choice I have right now. So let me make some adjustments here. I'll be back with you shortly. So even with the adjustments, QuickJack is in the way. All right, so this guy's a 16. It's right next to the jacking point. So I'm gonna see if I can crack it here. Probably getting a good look at my head, aren't you? wasn't too bad. Let's use the cheater here to get the rest off. All right, so there it is. 16 mil bolt with a very juicy washer. So I'm gonna go get the other side. And yes, we'll put the car up once again. All right, so I have the front ones off. Let's see if I can get the rest of these bolts off without too much drama. It's pivoting around in there, and I think that's just fine. I don't think it matters that I drop it actually all the way off, because this is the part I need access to. Okay, so I'm on the driver's side here, right next to the axle, just in front, facing the front of the car. So I'm going to clear that one first, make sure I can, because you don't want to empty your fluid without knowing you can refill it. These are 10 millimeter hexes on this model. I will put up on the screen what it is on others. As I understand, it can be a little more complex in at least 986s. I'm not sure about .1 987s, but yeah, favorable here because it's just very basic to 10 mil hexes. Let me grab my 10 hex here. All right, 10 mil hex. Go on the fill side here. All right, so over here, right in front, I've removed the drain plug. What's interesting is it's already letting fluid out, so the fill to spill rule seems to be in full effect. Also, I'm not sure if you can make out here, it might be too dark, but there's definitely some black on the end of that plug. So anyway, let's get the real drain off of there here, and then get it fully emptied out. Okay. All right, this is the part where I take my goggles on. Oh, of course, the usual splatter. But hey, it helped us on the fill side. There are no cross washers on either of these plugs, so no need to worry about replacing those. So let me clean that up and we'll put the drain plug back in there in just a minute. All right, time to fill. So I did just see one little drip. I've got what looks like about 1 quart left. So we've got 3 quarts in there. And that does somewhat resonate with what I was told to expect this to have for capacity. So let me just keep pushing and see if that drip gets to be more severe, but I'll go nice and slow at this point. All right, that's starting to become a little stream there. Hopefully you can make that out on the camera. Yeah, see how it's starting to drip out? So that's what fill to spill looks like. So let me remove this tube here and let's put that fill plug back in there. Oh yeah. So that's why you keep your catch tub right there still. So I'm going to torque these down to 30 foot-pounds. Sounds good. See if I can get to this guy. Okay, they're all set. So let's now put the belly pattern back on now. The diagonal braces go to 48 foot-pounds, as do anything connecting to the body, with the exception of the front. They're on these diagonal bars, the very front where I was having trouble earlier. I'm going to put that down to 65 foot-pounds. Alright, so now I'm going to secure these lateral bolts down, and then I will torque them down to 48 pounds. Alright, so I'll do the front corners off camera, but this guy's all back in, solid, and far and away the worst part of this job is that and the smell. Alright, so it's a couple days later, and we've had a bit of rain here, so it's been hard to get out. Now I'm trying to chase some daylight too at the same time, while the rain is basically starting to spot on me right now. But I wanted to wrap up the video. Yep, that's right. Because I had to run out and get some Corona. Wait, too soon? Anyway, the gearbox, honestly, it doesn't feel dramatically different. The shifts are fine and everything is all good. And so I think I would put this down to being a good maintenance item. I feel this as much as I feel an oil change for the engine. Some of you may experience different things, especially if you have a different setup, but I think by and large you can safely assume it's a good idea to keep the oil fresh in there. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I will also post below a link to the Pelican parts article that will help you discern any nuances between a 987 and a 986, which could be useful, especially for you 986 folks that may be watching. So thanks for checking in. Be memorable, be well, stay healthy, watch lots of YouTube.